You want to move your life forward in the most positive way using astrology? Then let's talk about the astrological patterns for April 2021. April is a really interesting month, really broken into two parts. I want to talk to you about the energy for the first half of the month and how it dynamically changes in the second half. And I want to paint this in a bigger picture and let you know that what happens in April is really setting us up for what is going to go on in May and June. May and June, there's a lot of very strong activity. In the beginning of April, all the way until about mid-month, we have a very strong Aries dynamic. Sun, Mercury, Venus traveling through Aries, and they are making nice aspects to Mercury in Gemini and Saturn in Aquarius. And all of that Aries energy is going to charge us up with a feeling of independence and self-sufficiency and wanting to get out there in the world doing something. In fact, it's going to charge up that need to be free, the need to have independence, and the need to make choices. It comes together in a very strong statement at the new moon, which is on April 11th. And what is fascinating about that new moon is that the Aries planets will be making a square to Pluto. We've already seen some protests happening in the world against the restrictions and the lockdowns and the effect that that's having on people's freedom. When this new moon in Aries occurs, we may see more. A lot of us now are getting vaccinated and some of the restrictions are lifting. And when we start to have a little bit more freedom, if there's anything that changes that, if there are any waves of the new variant that comes along with COVID and restrictions come back again, there's probably going to be a very strong reaction. Suffice it to say, the first part of April, probably till mid-month, people are going to be yearning to get out and yearning to stretch their energy and to be involved in life. This changes for the second half of April, because then we have a big shift from fire and air in the first half to earth and water in the second half. We have the sun going into Taurus along with Mercury and Venus, and Mars will be entering Cancer. It's a very big shift. What happens when we have a strong Taurus dynamic is things can get a bit stubborn. Things can be very, very focused in life. That can be good because it offers us determination and perseverance to follow through with what we initiated when we had the Aries energy. But it can also be very stubborn and resistant to change. It builds to the full moon, which is going to be on April 26th. It's a full moon in Scorpio. And that is a huge configuration that takes place then. Sun will be conjunct Uranus, and Mercury and Venus will be there too, squaring Saturn in Aquarius. Whew, that's really strong energy. On a personal note, here's what I suggest for you in April. Use the first half of the month to feel strong and courageous and begin new endeavors, feeling good and confident within. In the second half of the month, engage your focus, engage new habits, be strong and follow through. Really get into that earthy energy that wants to achieve. On a world level, if there are new variants with COVID, and if this brings about new restrictions and lockdowns, or perhaps certain countries decide to really get into that vaccination passport, which means you have to be vaccinated in order to move around, we could see a lot coming up in April with protests or reactions, whether it's positive or negative. It's going to be interesting. And then this leads us into May, when we have two eclipses. Well, we have one eclipse in May and one in June, and we have Mercury getting ready to go retrograde towards the end of May. By the way, for those of you who live in the United States, that time frame, May, June, and July, President Biden and Vice President Harris, their charts are lit up like a Christmas tree. We are going to be seeing a lot of activity taking place. So to summarize the astrological patterns for April, just remember the first half is very fiery and airy. Initiate new actions, take charge, Enjoy life and be strong. And remember, at that new moon in Aries on April 11th, celebrate your own personal power. The second half of the month, we have more water and earth, and we have that strong Taurus focus coming into play, which builds up to this super powerful moment at the full moon in Scorpio on April 26th. So live the life you choose to live as happily and as joyfully as you possibly can. It'll all work out, but keep your attitude in alignment with that positivity. Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose.